Do you want to see how this leveraging your human design for your message really works in real life? Today, we're going to do a case study of a 2-4 mental projector, and we are going to call her FM. FM was a member in the last round of Content by Design. And when she first came into the live round, she felt like a lot of second lines feel. She felt unseen. She felt like she didn't know what she was good at. She definitely didn't have clarity around her messaging. She was using a lot of what I call spiritual gobbledygook. So her people couldn't really understand the problem that she solves and what it is that she does for them. She was also in this place, as happens with many, many second lines, of second guessing herself, questioning her gifts, thinking that she didn't really have anything to offer that was different than anyone else. She's in the human design space and also in the spiritual space. And she just didn't understand her differentiators. It can be really hard for second lines to understand your genius. So if you would like to hear a little bit about her design, see how we work together to uncover her message as it lives in her human design, stay tuned.
Welcome to Unjaded. This is your straight talk, shoot from the hip, wrapped in a little bit of love, Human Design for Business podcast. We talk a lot here about clarifying your message so that you can bring in paying clients with ease. And ease is different from easy. Stick around to find out how we roll here. I'm your host, Vicki Dixon. I am a 2-4 emotional manifesting generator, light on the emotional, and I'm a quad right in human design. In real speak, I am an entrepreneur of 30 plus years. I've had every kind of business there is, and I always say that business is my love language. I can't wait to dive in with you here on the podcast.
So first things first, FM is, as I said, a 2-4 mental projector. When we are looking at her design, we see that she has channel 4323. Now, I love this channel, but oftentimes people who have it and haven't really been in their human design experiment enough to play with it feel like it's not a good thing in their design. So this is the channel in traditional human design that's referred to as genius to freak. I don't love that name. But what I would love for you to understand if you or someone you love has this channel is that you have a really unique way of looking at things and other people often don't get it. So this person, FM, has these insights that just drop in seemingly out of nowhere. And she looks at things really uniquely and she's able to express these insights, but only when she's invited. So as a projector, she wants to be invited. As a projector, she waits for the invitation. And to share these insights. This is projected energy in her design. Now, if you're a projector, I would love for you to assume the invitation. If someone has followed you online, if someone is on your email list, if someone is listening to your podcast, then please assume the invitation. Understand that they do want to hear from you. And remember that recognition starts with you. So this, for most of my projector clients, involves mirror work. It involves actually saying to yourself out loud, yay me for writing that email. I recognize you for having that difficult conversation with a client that you had to have. I recognize you for sending that payment link. I recognize you for posting on social media 3 times this week. Whatever it is for you, projector, recognition starts with you. So this is the design of a mental projector. And because FM paid in full for the last round of Content by Design, she got a free reading with me. And in our reading, when we started to look at her design, the biggest thing that I think was a takeaway for her was that her design is not for her. This is the design that is for the other. And that was a little bit hard to hear at first. She's like, what? None of it's for me? Well, it's always going to be for you. But you know how in marketing, we are all told that we need to make it about the other person and not about ourselves? There are some designs where actually it's more about you. You actually need to share everything about you to empower other people. Maybe not everything about you, but you need to share your own life experience in order to empower people. This is not the design of someone who needs to share with others her own life in order to empower people, which is good news for her because as a second line projector, she doesn't really want to be out in front. So in this design, we see that she is taking in more than she is emitting out into the field. She has 6 undefined centers, and 3 defined centers. So remember that in your definition, that's where you are broadcasting out into the field. That's what you are delivering to people. Your openness is how you draw them in. She's breathing in so much from others, and she's able to reflect back her wisdom, because these open centers, the themes will play out in relationships. So when we look at her circuitry, we see someone who is designed to stand in her own power, who is to be very, very individual, who has to follow her own path and really live by her own insights. These insights are to be shared with the people who invite her to share them, which fits with her projector strategy. And then she also has this 6447 channel, which is all about taking her life experiences and turning them into a lesson that others can learn from. So you see how this is about the other? It's always about bringing the other along through her own experience of life. As a second line, there's something that she's very, very good at that she cannot see. And we saw this over and over and over again as we move through Content by Design. And it was interesting to see her showing up in a more confident way in her social media and just being like, you know what? I am who I am. I'm really, really good at this. Even though I don't have all of the certificates to back me up, I know that this is my zone of genius and I'm going to stand in it. And when she started to stand in that place, not only did she feel better posting content, it was more fun. It came more easily to her. It didn't feel like a job, and people were responding to her when she just showed up as her natural self. This person, because she's a 2-4, she builds community. She has always, always, always done this in her business. It is such an important part of the puzzle for her. But she was getting tired. She was getting tired of having to be always on with her community. She was doing a lot of in-person work and was looking to switch more to online because she's a projector and she needs time out of that community. She's here as a projector. You're here as a projector, if you're listening and you're a projector, to pop into the group and then get the heck out. You're not meant to be in group energy all the time as a projector. You are the alpha. You go in, you do your thing, and then you get out. You're able to deeply focus on one person, on one thing at a time, and that needs to be okay. You're not here to be in the people all the time, even as a 2-4. So for her, this was a big part of her experience, I think, in Content by Design, was that she was really working through, okay, I want to move from all of this in-person work that is really draining me at this point in my life, and I want to move towards more of an online experience. And then we come to discover that actually what she wants to do is be invited to be a speaker at retreats. She wants to be invited. That's her dream. Her dream is to actually be invited to do the whole projector, pop in, do her magic, and pop out. She wants to teach practitioners how to do something in their businesses. And I'm not going to give you too many details because I don't want to give her identity away here. So a lot of her journey in Content by Design was really about owning her gifts and actually standing in the power of claiming what she wanted in her business, because she'd been going through the motions, doing the things as a second line that came easily to her all along. And she was taking all of these calls. She was accepting all of these calls because people would call her out. Her community would call her out and she'd be like, oh, you think I'm good at that? Okay, I'll do that for a while. Oh, that's the thing you want from me? Okay, I'll do that for a while. But none of it was really feeding her soul anymore. So what we are doing with her is really aligning her design with the business that she actually wants to have that feeds her soul so that she can do the work that she's here to do and have the impact that she's here to have. And for her, that is so much is rooted in this Genius to Freak channel. So much is rooted in her ability to bring new ways of looking at life to her community. That's really important. Let me just check here and see. So her Mercury gates are 1 and 64. So she is here to be authentically herself. We all are here to be authentically ourselves, but that's a really big driver in her design. We know that we are looking at the design of a creative role model here. We know we're looking at someone who needs to express themselves authentically, and she does that through movement. Again, I'm not going to say too much because I don't want to identify her here, but she does that through movement, through somatic movement in her business. She is an expression of fluidity, I would say. It's absolutely beautiful to see how she has tied this in. And when she first started in Content by Design, she felt like because she's a human design practitioner, she had to lead with human design. But when she was doing that, she felt like she was not being authentically herself. And she felt like she was competing Now I'm going to, I don't love that word competition, but she felt like she was competing with all of the other human design practitioners. Whereas she stands in this really unique insight and genius that she has as a second line, as someone with that 4323, as someone with a Mercury in the gate of self-expression on being your authentic self. When she decided to do it her way instead, she realized that human design could be a part of what she does, but it's not the thing that she has to lead with. Gate 64 is all about removing confusion for others. So that's another reason why I said this is a design of someone who it's really about the other. The gifts that she has, the 4323, the 6447, the mental projectorishness, when you look at her chart in the show notes or on the YouTube video, you can see that her ajna is completely lit up. She has one gate undefined in her ajna. So all of the gifts of the head and the ajna are for others. So that's another reason that I say, like, she brings clarity to others, but as a second line, she'll not often have it for herself. And that has to be okay. She needs to rest, take care of herself, and understand how to be discerning about the calls that are right for her, and then let the rest go. So that's a little overview. There are a lot of places we could go. Of course, we spent about 10 weeks together in the last round of Content by Design. So we, looked at her openness. We looked at her vocation, her core wounding, her Mercury, her profile. There are so many things that we go over in Content by Design. It's at least 8 weeks with my eyes on your design twice a week, with my eyes in your business twice a week. So we get a lot done over the course of that amount of time. I just wanted to bring you these little case studies this week so that you could see how it all plays out in real life and what it actually looks like in a business. If your content isn't bringing you the paying clients that you think it should be, if you're not making enough money in your business, which means you're not having the impact you're here to have, then I would love to invite you to my 3-day masterclass series. Here we are going to go over really zhuzhing up your offer so that we make it a need to have for your ideal fit clients and not a nice to have. When you're in that nice to have category, which so often happens in the more spiritual space, in the coaching space, people can justify not purchasing your services. So we want to look at how to get you into the need to have, how to really talk about the transformation and the result people are going to get from working with you. We're also going to cover the thing that most entrepreneurs are missing in their content that makes all the difference in the world between selling your offer and not selling it. And we're going to cover how to leverage your human design to bring you more paying clients. That's a free 3-day masterclass series. There are replays available, of course, and a VIP option if you want lifetime access. I'm going to pop the note here for you if you'd like to join us.